Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 13, episode 4, and today we play Arsenal in the Premier League, looking desperately to get revenge for our FA Cup final defeat last year. If we have a little look at the team stats at the bottom of the screen, you can see we've sort of skipped out how we performed last year and gone back to the previous seasons before that. We're by no means having a bad year, we're up in 10th place doing well, but we've got a really poor defensive record again this season, 16th best in the Premier League, but we've started scoring goals again, 23 in 15 games, and that's the 7th best record in the Premier League. We've had a whole host of games off camera since the last episode, and as you can see, they must have gone pretty well. We're trying to break into the top half for the first time this season, and it looks like we're on course to just about do that, although one little poor spell and we could be down in lower mid-table again. But I am pleased with how we're hanging on to the coattails of Europe, and I really think it could be a good season for us, as the youngsters we sign in the summer are only going to keep improving. So if we go and have a look at the schedule to see how things have been going since the last episode, as I mentioned, we've had quite a few games, although there have been a couple of international breaks, so perhaps not as many as you would have expected. You were with me last time for that 2-1 defeat against Chelsea, a game in which we really played well in the second half and were unlucky not to get a point out of in the end, but we really started to show signs against the top sides that we can compete on an even playing field rather than having to go for a defensive tactic and nick a 1-0 or a draw on the break. We really competed in an attacking sense, and that was quite pleasing out of that one. We've had a couple of miracles since the last episode as well, in addition to a couple of things you would have expected anyway. The following game to Chelsea was a 3-3 draw against Wolves. That was after the international break. I was disappointed with the result overall, but we were 3-1 down with an hour gone, and to nick a draw out of the game with a 91st minute equaliser from James Hayes was something we were really pleased about. Lee Rutherford missed a penalty, which was a tad unfortunate, but we still managed to get the point, and it started a little unbeaten run in the league. We won 3-2 away to Blackburn. I'm sure that won't be a surprise to anyone. We never lose against Blackburn. They've been the best side we've faced in the Premier League. All our best performances in the last 2 years have come against them, so we're delighted that we were able to beat them again. Again in this one we were behind 2-0 at half time. We gave the lads a full hairdryer treatment at half time, went all out attack in the second half, and we turned it around with a brilliant performance, Aaron and Rutherford getting the winner. However, a few days after that we did lose to their rivals Burnley in the Carabao Cup 4th round. It was a penalty shootout defeat. Lee Rutherford scored the goal to take us to penalties, and then he went and missed one alongside the youngster Ray Probert. Unfortunately, Burnley scored all of their penalties, including the winner from Edvard Tagzef, who played for us back in the Championship, so a little bit of disappointment all round, but we did play pretty decently on the night. Into November, and here comes the miracle. We beat our bogey side Everton. Almost all of our heavy defeats in the Premier League have come against them, and this time we finally avenged that. A 2-1 victory with 2 early goals, Rutherford and Cosell the heroes. However, that was followed with last-minute disappointment against Southampton, a 95th minute winner for them, and unfortunately we lost out as a result. Southampton are a well-established top 8 side in the Premier League here, so we're not too disappointed with the result overall, but the manner in which we lost it was obviously a slight disappointment. We picked up a couple of knocks in that one as well, but thankfully we had a 2-week international break after, and we came back and won 3-0 at home to Brentford, the side at the basement of the Premier League. Dimitri Lappin got a brace after he came back from injury, and Daniel Cosell scored the other as the job was done by half time. Then away to Manchester United, again a little bit of disappointment. We set up in our more defensive shape, as away from home we were still getting beaten heavily. We lost 3-0 to City and 2-0 to Spurs already, and I don't need to tell you what happened against Liverpool on the first day of the season, so we did try to be a bit more cautious. Just a 1-0 defeat in the end. We did go all out attacking the last 5 minutes, but didn't really create any chances. And then in the last game before this episode, we won 4-3 in a thrilling game in midweek. It was at home to Newcastle, who nearly got us back at the end. We were 4-1 up at one stage as Lee Rutherford completed a brace. Hayes and Air got the goals as well, but then Ray Clark, one of our former transfer targets, and Connor Cannon in stoppage time produced a real grandstand finish and put us under the cosh for the last few seconds. But as a result of all of that, we are in the top half of the Premier League. Unfortunately, we didn't make the latter stages of the Carabao Cup, but we've had a friendly draw in the first game of the FA Cup, a third round tie at home to Wycombe Wanderers, and hopefully we'll be able to get through against them and go on another lengthy cup run. If not, we can get in the top half of the Premier League and try and chase Southampton in 6th place, but obviously United and Everton have had poor starts. I'm sure they'll be up there by the end of the year. Today's opponents, Arsenal, are in 2nd place at the moment after being champions last season, don't forget. They also won the domestic double by nicking the FA Cup final off us. A dramatic end-to-end tie, one of our favourite of the series so far. But let's get into this game. We want to see how we can get on against Arsenal. Away from home in the Premier League is a completely different entity. Will we be able to deal with the pressure and the relentless attacking nature of the champions? So let's go and have a look at our lineup. Arsenal are heavy favourites as you'd expect. They are missing a couple of players as we alluded to at the start, but we've never won against Arsenal in 5 appearances in the league, and we've lost plenty of cup ones against them too, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. We've got Stuart Atwell in charge of the match. We don't normally mention the referee, but this one's given 3 red cards already this year in 18 matches, a far higher rate than any other referee we've faced. But if we look at our 11, there's no real surprises. It's Maxwell in goal. We've got Quirk and Lonergan-Irwin at fullback with Leclerc and Recchio in the middle. He came in for the injured Bedger a couple of games ago and did really well, so we're just going to leave him there for now. We may bring Bedger back in for Leclerc. We've got Vladimir in the holding role with Hayes and Lappin in the middle. Bakanes just coming back from his long-term injury. He's going to be on the bench today. Talasise got another knock as well, so he's on the bench too. Omar, we're just protecting. We're rotating him in and out at the moment, and as Dimitri Lappin's had a good little run, we've left him in the lineup for now. We've got Hernan and Kozzel on the wings, and then Lee Rutherford up front. Already got 8 goals this season. This was the weekend he got his first in the previous campaign, so I'm sure you're not surprised by any of that, but let's go and get into the match and we'll change our mentality once we get there. It's a very attacking 4-4-2 for Arsenal, and they've got some of the most ridiculous squad numbers you'll ever see. Kieran Tierney at left back with 63, that one I'm not too worried about. What I am concerned about is the left winger wearing number 6 and Reece Nelson on the right wearing number 2. We've got a number 8 up front. It's a travesty all over the place. If you like traditional squad numbers, you're going to be upset by that one. I guess ours aren't too much better. We've got 3 defenders in the 20s. We've got Hayes the captain in the middle with number 5 on, and then Kozzel on the left wing with number 9, but at least he can cover up front as well. It's just a bit of a poor day for the traditional fans there. But let's go and talk to the lads. We want to tell them to pick up where they left off. They were brilliant against Newcastle for at least 75 minutes, and hopefully we can do it for 90 today and put up a better fight. We're going to go for the mentality we did against United, just because it seemed to work quite well. We want to make sure we slow the game down, as it really frustrates these fluent sides and allows us to build up a little bit of tension if we don't concede an early goal. So we're going to prevent the short goalkeeper distribution. We want to make sure the lads are defending from defensive midfield backwards, and hopefully that will prevent Arsenal finding spaces and allow us to keep them at bay in the first half. It's Arsenal with the kickoff and they go straight back to the central defender, and Tielemans has got it in the middle. Obviously at Leicester in real life, and Reece Nelson on the right, an Arsenal youngster. He flicks on an overhit pass and Lonergan-Irwin sees the highlight out. Vladimir gets it to Lappin as we come forward for the first time. Lonergan-Irwin delivers and it's blocked. Out to Lappin, it's tipped wide by Curtis. A brilliant effort from the edge, and we've got the first corner of the game. An in-swinger to be taken by Kozzel. Can he find a Torquay head? Recchio's missed it and he's been adjudged to have fouled his man, and that's going to see the end of the highlight. 3 minutes gone and we're back with a free kick as Tard's got it a centre half from the keeper. He goes short to Tielemans. Arsenal looking to build out from the back. He gets it into Fornals. Plenty of space in the middle. Obviously Arsenal have lost Sandoval to Liverpool this season. £150 million. Nelson gets it into Evans. A brilliant save by Maxwell. Fingertips up to his left hand side and tips it wide of the post. We obviously played against Sandoval in the first game of the season. Signed from Arsenal for £146 million. He caused absolute chaos for us on that occasion, but it means he can't do the same for Arsenal today. So every cloud has a silver lining as Tielemans gets it out to Tierney. I'm sure Arsenal have still got a few world-class players and they won't miss him too much in this one, but it will have been a blow to lose that player, although they seem to be starting well here. Nelson beats Lonergan-Irwin and Conceição gets a shot in, but it's blocked behind by Recchio and it's going to be a corner kick for Arsenal. Not even 10 minutes gone yet, there's been plenty of end-to-end action. It's all Arsenal now though as Navarro's fouled, and over on the right Vladimir makes a silly tackle, and unfortunately that's going to give Arsenal a dangerous set piece. We are going to see that free kick now. Nelson delivers to Navarro. Maxwell's made a howler, but thankfully it was offside, so he gets away with his mistake there. We're just going to have a free kick. It's in our 6-yard box and Maxwell clears long. Hernane's never going to get on the end of that. It's Tielemans in the middle again. They just go back to their centre half. They're happy to keep possession and build up slowly, as Nelson seems to be getting in behind Irwin every single time they go forward. Navarro with a shot as he beats Quirk in the challenge, and is tipped wide by Maxwell for an Arsenal corner. Nelson with the outswinging delivery into the back post. Quirk heads up but not really away, and Evans has got it back on the left hand side. Here's Tielemans 25 yards out, but his shot straight as Stuart Maxwell. It's a throw on the left for Arsenal. It's Tierney into Navarro. We've got just as many highlights in this one as we had in the FA Cup final, but none of the goals so far, though Evans tries to change that. His header straight into the arms of Maxwell. 15 minutes gone, and we're still hanging on at the moment. It's Maxwell with a free kick. He takes it long downfield. Hernan trying to run onto it, but Tierney gets ahead to it. It's Hayes in the middle though, as it falls nicely for us. Out to Hernan on the right wing. Delivers it into the box. The cross went awfully wrong, but Curtis had to tip it wide as it nearly fluked its way in. Kozul now with a corner kick in swinging. Tar heads away as far as Evans. He flicks it on yet further. Hernan gets it wide to Kozul, but the highlight ends with a score still goalless. A quarter of the game gone. Can we make it to the break? It's Kozul with an in-swinging delivery again. Another corner on camera. It's gone out to the edge of the box to Hernan. His shot's blocked and now Arsenal can counter. They've got a 3-on-3 momentarily, and now they've got a 3-on-4, but a brilliant challenge by the lads at the back. Unfortunately, it wasn't given as a foul. Tar gets it to Tielemans in the middle as Arsenal tried a more traditional build-up. Out wide to Rhodes, the right back. Tielemans into Conceição. 3 men running off him, but he goes back to central midfield. Navarro into Conceição again. Brilliant place finish into the bottom corner. Maxwell had no chance. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. We couldn't see him off to the break. With 10 minutes to go, it's Arsenal in the lead. They've got a corner and in-swinger from Nelson as they start to build their dominance. The centre-half's got a free kick 3 yards out, and he's fired it into the bottom corner. Arsenal lead 2-0, and we're starting to show signs of that Liverpool collapse on the first day. Hopefully it won't be the case, and we can hold off at just 2-0. Half time, not the best performance. We did okay in truth, had a few threatening moments from set pieces, but Arsenal dominated the game and they managed to get their 2 goals as well. If we don't hold off the opposition, it never really works out. So in this half, we're just going to go positive, as last time we stayed defensive against Liverpool and it all went totally wrong. So we're going to stop time wasting, go for a higher tempo. We're going to distribute it quickly from the goalkeeper, and we are going to press the Arsenal number 1 just to try and force a mistake. Into the second half, it's Torquay with a kick-off. Rutherford, Hayes and Lappin share possession. Out wide to the right hand side, it's a poor ball in the end. Ayres never getting there. The highlight ends with a throw-in. We've got Arsenal throwing it in from the right hand side. It's Rhodes to Conceição. He finds Nelson into Evans. Just headed over, another poor chance wasted. Just past the hour mark, it's Rhodes with a throw on the right for Arsenal. It's going to be cleared away, and once this highlight's done, we will make a few changes. Our last attempt to change the games, but I'm not sure it'll work out too much. We've got a warning to close the centre half down. Evans has been challenged by Recchio. Fortunately, it wasn't a foul. He's not had the best of games today, so I think it will be back to Lucas Beja next time. We've got a chance to bring on a few of the young superstars. Lidio needs some football. He'll come on for Lonergan Irwin. Bakinez will get some more match fitness. He'll come on for Vladimir, who's been booked. And then Omar, the other wonder kid, will come on. He'll replace James Hayes, who's furious. And Dimitri Lappin will just switch roles with him. Let's get back into the game and see if we can nick a goal in the last 20. It looks more likely to be Arsenal's third at the moment, as Tielemans shoots from 25 yards. That is an absolutely wonderful strike, and that's the sort of quality you can't do anything about. We just have to put our hands up and accept that goal. A brilliant strike from 30 yards, and Tielemans nicks a third. It's Recchio to Leclerc as we continue from the kick-off, and another one of those long switch balls, which just hasn't worked out today. They've all been woefully under or over hit. Rhodes gets it wide to Nelson. He's been the star player in this game. He's given absolutely awful time to Lonergan Irwin, and now the left back Lidio's on. Can he do a little bit better? Hopefully he'll fare slightly differently and prevent being beaten every time he runs at him. It's cleared away to the right hand side to Nelson again. Omar heads it away to the edge of the box. Back to Tara, now Tielemans. We want to prevent him having a shot again, as we already know what he can do, but what are the the chances are 2 in a game. Tielemans 30 yards out, Arsenal just keeping possession, really taking the mick out of us. They don't want us to have a touch of the ball. It's blocked out for a throw-in, and with 15 to go it's still 3-0. Arsenal throw it in with Tierney from the left. Into Jones and now Tielemans. Jones again in central midfield. It's the same Curtis Jones we had at Newcastle briefly in our other series, the head coach. It's out to Nelson on the right hand side, and he's got acres of space again. It's blocked and cleared away, but only as far as Tar. He finds Fornals out to Rhodes on the right hand side. Into Nelson, he cuts it back again, but it's blocked away to Rhodes. He finds Tielemans and now Fornals. Arsenal keeping the ball so well at the moment and starting to play like champions as Nelson puts one into the side netting. The keeper didn't look like he had it covered. 5 minutes to go, Evans has won it back again and he's coming forward down the left hand side. Rhodes on the counter attack, there's 3 in the middle, but the cross is blocked and it's cleared away to Omar. He's got 2 over on the other side of the pitch, but he's been challenged very quickly by Woodbine, the man who cost us the cup final. He came off the bench and made all the difference in that one. Hopefully in this one he won't be quite as effective, or we could be on for another 4 or 5-0. Just a minute plus stoppage time to go though. Hopefully we can keep it at 3. If we can nick a consolation goal that would be great, but it doesn't look like it with 15 seconds left. Lidio takes a short free kick to Omar. He gets it back from Kozil in the middle. Bacanes the holding midfielder. He goes back to Recchio. He's been pressured in possession, but the final whistle goes. It's a 3-0 defeat and it's well and truly deserved. Probably one of our worst performances of the season. You've seen 2 of the worst ones on camera. The first game of the season where Liverpool put 5 past us, and today against Arsenal where we didn't really put up a fight in a 3-0 defeat. We're going to tell the lads it was unlucky. Stuart Jelling wants us to tell them we were pleased, but we've done that before and it's always gone wrong, so we're just going to try and give the lads some confidence. Most of them are motivated for the next game, and the one positive is we did give some returning lads a bit of fitness. So you can see the media report, Arsenal coast past the goals. We expected that as they dominated the stats, the complete opposite of the Chelsea game at home. It seems we're still struggling away to the big 6, even though we're doing alright at home now, and we've just got to try and focus on being positive in those ones and nicking some good results in front of our fans. We're just giving a second answer to most of these press conference questions. We have been a bit unlucky in defence. That third goal, for example, was absolutely class. We can't do too much about those ones. I'm aware that game had plenty of highlights and the episode's probably run on for a little while. We're going to have a big one in January for the transfer window, so I don't want this one to be half an hour as well. We've got a bit of luck because our last game of January is at home to Manchester City, a side we shocked in the FA Cup semi-final last year, but have generally fared pretty poorly against. We did have one major win in the league against them, a 5-4 victory in our first season in the Premier League, but since then it's been all Manchester City in the head-to-head games between the two. So we are going to come back for that one on Tuesday the 28th of January, and then we'll have a transfer deadline day special. It was really exciting and action-packed last year, so I hope we'll have the same again this season. We'd like all the deals to be on our terms. Maybe we can even get a permanent for Richard Quirk. He's got just 18 months on his contract and I am keeping an eye on it. We'll keep making inquiries to Southampton and hopefully we'll be able to strike a deal. But if you did enjoy this episode, even if it was seeing us get beat, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It does show a bit of reality to the series. We're not one of those who's going to get to the Premier League, spend 150 million on a player and go and win it in 2 years. We're going to build this club properly to ensure they have sustained success even long after we're retired. Let me know down in the comments with the January transfer window coming up before the next episode what you think we should do in the transfer market. Do you think we've got a weak link in particular? This season I'm starting to think it's Stuart Maxwell in goal. We have got plenty of budget left. I think it's around 50 million. It's 60 in fact with 100 grand on the wages, so we could go out and sign a top keeper if needed. In the other positions we've got weaknesses, for example Lonergan Irwin at left back. We've got to remember he's not the first choice. We signed a good youngster in the summer. We've just had a few more problems with injuries than normal this year, so we're not getting a true reflection of those positions. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one with Torquay United, where we'll have our transfer deadline day special in the next episode, and our other series, The Head Coach, where we move clubs at the start of the current season, so do go back and check out our new job. It's certainly been an interesting season so far. There's also 3 episodes a week from Cricket 19, the official game of the Ashes. At the moment we're doing an Ashes test playthrough and then we'll be starting our long-term career in a couple of weeks' time. A massive thank you to everyone that supported that one. I'm really grateful for the support it's received. We'll also be continuing our long-term Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30. But as always, a massive thanks for watching this one. Your continued support of the series and the channel, I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time for a big game against Manchester City and what should be an action-packed January transfer deadline day special.